Hi guys, and welcome back for another video. In today's video, we're going to do a little bit of a continuation of a topic that I covered a little while back, and that was the Dell Inspiron 660. Today though, we're going to take a look at its little brother, the 660S, which is a more slimline computer. And that's what I got going on right here. You can see that's pretty tiny. I'm not going to talk about upgrading it and swapping it too much. I'm going to talk a little bit about upgrades, but really my focus today is going to be on limitations of it. And by that, I mean limitations when you leave it into this small case that you got right here, or even in the bigger Dell case. Let's take a look at the layout on this 660S before we really get into it, and you can see it on the screen here. I found a little picture of it. We'll start out with some key stuff right here. This is, of course, your PCI Express slot. Here's your 16X PCI Express slot for a video card. Here is the Wi-Fi on it. Let's see, moving down here, here is your power connector for the CPU. And here's the CPU fan connector. Here's your memory. You get only 2 SATA ports on this one. Right here and here, you got some USB ports. Up here in this corner, that's where your front panel connectors are. And then, of course, your 24-pin connector here. Your battery goes there. You can see at one point, this was meant to have the other system fan connector, and it doesn't have that, which is, I guess, in this situation, nice, because then you don't get that pesky message at boot up if you don't have a fan connected to it. But this board, just like the regular size Dell 660, absolutely can be upgraded. The maximum processor you can put in there would be like a Core i7-3770. You can max it out with 16 gigs of RAM. DDR3 1600 is what you'd want to use. But again, like I said, when you're leaving it in something like this, there are some limitations to consider, and I'm going to go over the whys of that. And I'm also going to go over what you can put into it for an upgrade. If we take a look at this power supply here, I don't know if that'll focus or not. No, it won't. But it's only a 220 watt power supply. You can get a replacement off of Amazon for about 45 bucks. I mean, there's a couple of them listed there. You can't get anything higher that I know of. It's a small form factor type power supply. I looked around to see if there was something higher. There isn't. Not that I was going to buy it. I was just curious if there was one out there or not. And but even if there were something with a little higher wattage in it, I honestly don't think it would be worth it if you're going to keep this in this case. It's just, not worth the money. It really ain't. The only time it's worth it is if you put it into a different case. Then you absolutely want to beef up that power supply, and you want to beef up that graphics and everything else. But anyways, speaking of graphics, let's go over that a bit. If you look up here, and that's why I have this light posted in there, you can see there isn't. Let's see if we can get my camera in there. There isn't much space at all towards the top to put a graphics card in. So you have to use a single slot type low profile graphics card if you want to put something in here. Now Dell has one that is available. You can usually find it on Amazon or Newegg. It's right here. It goes for $74. It's a real slimline card, you can see right there. But it's only like a GeForce 8400 GS. Other options would be like the MSI R7240, which is also low profile, should fit in there okay. And then one other option, if it actually had decent power if you could find a power supply, but it's $214, would be the Zotac GeForce GTX 1650, but that's only got, if you look right there, 4 gigabyte GDDR5. So I mean, it's kind of limited. It is double slotted, but the second slot will go right down in here, and it would fit. But again, this one, if I'm looking at it correctly, on some of the questions on Newegg, Newegg says 75 watts, and then in another question thing for it, we'll show you right here. Yes, your graphics card should be compatible with your current power supply since it uses 83 watts of power. And then down here, another question, they're going 75 watts, 300 watt power supply needed. And like I said, this one's only a 220 watts, so you're kind of limited there when it comes to video cards. And not only that, you are limited in your processors. This one has a G630 in it right now. And I have another one coming off of eBay that I'm putting in there. And what I'm putting in there is the Core i5 3570S. Let's take a look at the CPUworld.com website here. And here's a list of processors that will fit in this. We'll go down that slow. All of those will fit into this board. Now, the main thing is, if you're looking at the red right here, the red is showing whether it's an upgrade over what you have, which I have right in here, the 3570S. Or green is the upgrade. Red is just kind of like, no, you're not really gaining anything. The main thing on this, though, when it comes to that processor, is the wattage that it puts out. The G630 is a 65 watt processor, so you kind of want to stay in that range. You could maybe go with like a 77 watt, like a Core i5 3470 or a 3450, maybe even a 3550, 3570K. It might not cause too many problems. It probably wouldn't. It would probably be okay, but something like this, I like to stay in that recommended range there of TDP, which is 65 watts of where that G630 is. And so the best processor in the 65 watt range would, of course, be the Core i5 3570S. Which is what I have coming in to put in this. So that it's 3.1 gigahertz, turbos up to 3.8, 6 megs of L3 cache, you know. So that's probably about the most decent one you're going to put in there and still stay within specifications for this machine. Memory, like I had mentioned before, you could max out at 16 gigs on this. You'll want to use DDR3 1600. You don't want to use no 1866. I mean, you could spend the money on 1866, but you're going to be kind of wasting your money. If we look on the CPU Boss website, and under the memory controller for this, which is on the right here, you can see that it only supports DDR3 1600, DDR3 1333. The processor that's in here right now only supports DDR3 1066. So if I booted this up right now and we took a look at that, that's what it would show. Now, and we're getting a really awesome speed improvement from the Pentium G630 versus the i5 3570S. If you look at some of this stuff as I scroll on the performance of it, I'll try to go a little slow here. Here's some reasons to consider. I'll go over that if you can't read it. higher clock speeds, there's more cores, more threads, better turbo clock speed, a better overclock clock speed, more display support. That's kind of irrelevant in this case. And then we scroll down here and take a look at these benchmarks. You can see that, yeah, look at that. That 3570S is just going to romp all over that Pentium that's in here right now. So that's going to be a nice upgrade for this computer. And the next thing I want to talk about is upgrading the operating system and a couple other things you'll want to do. First of all, before we get into the operating system, change your CMOS battery. See it right back in there. This thing is like, you know what, 6-7 years old now. Ain't no way that battery's going to be good. It might hold a bit of a charge there, and the time might be okay, but I guarantee it's going to go. So if you're going to work on something like this that's old, change out that CMOS battery. Another thing that's going to get changed out before I put the new CPU in, this fan. Again, that's also 6-7 years old. It's probably done a lot of spinning. It's probably about had it. I mean, you could fix it by maybe getting some of this, some 3-in-1 oil, and putting it on that the back part there. You'd have to take the tape off. I think there might be a little rubber plug there that you would pull out, and then you just put a drop of oil in there and kind of spin it a little bit, wipe it down, put it back on. I haven't tore this out to know if that plug's there. That's not always the case. Sometimes there's not a plug. You know, if you're desperate, you can drill it out and put a little bit of oil in there. You got to be careful with that. But, I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, fans are cheap. Just change the damn fan. The one I'm putting in this one, and it should be here today, just waiting for the mail to get here, is the Noctua NFR8 Redo 1800 PWM fan. Nice fan, nice and quiet. And then let's get to the Windows 10 upgrade portion now. Now, if you want to upgrade to Windows 10, or maybe you want to do a clean install of Windows 10, you don't have to spend a dime. You really don't. It's free. It's legal. It's perfectly easy to do, safe to do, and it's so simple. All you have to do is, like right here, is the Windows 7 key that comes with this Dell. Or maybe it has Windows 8, you know, whatever you've got. Just use that key. Yep. So what you'll do is you'll download the media creation tool and download the latest version of Windows 10, which in this case today, as of this video, is version 1903. Put in your new drive or wipe the old drive, whatever. This one, I actually pulled the drive. It was a Seagate, and was it like a 1 terabyte? This drive took a shit. That's actually why I have this computer in. This is from my friend Terry's. I actually built him a new computer, and he said, you know, go ahead and fix this one up and, you know, put it back in service. And he's probably going to take it and put it at the store that he owns and just use it as a terminal machine for a little bit while I'm upgrading his other Optiplexes that also have Windows 7 on them. Microsoft, of course, is phasing out Windows 7, and they're going to end support for it. So corporate told him that, well, all your machines need to be Windows 10 now. So instead of investing all this damn money into buying all new machines with Windows 10, they're still perfectly good. Their Optiplexes are, you know, a few years old, probably about as old as this one, 6-7 years old. What I'm going to do with those is basically a memory upgrade. I'm going to wipe the drives out. Actually, I'm going to pull the drives out, put SSDs in them, do a fresh install of Windows 10 on there, and he's going to put the Speedline software, and they will be back in service and better than ever. And of course, I'll be changing out the fans and the batteries in those as well. Now, like I said, that's all you need is just your Windows 7 sticker there with the serial number on it that you need, and you do your install, and boom, Windows 10. Easy, done. Now, like I said, I put an SSD in this one. And so let me switch the KVM here to my other input, and we could take a look at this, at how fast this boots up. There, just hit the power button. There we go. So that's not bad at all. And that's with that Pentium G630 chip in there. Once that Core i5 is in there, this is actually going to improve, I would imagine. But still, you know, like I said, I'm not done with this yet. I'm still working on it. But this is absolutely an improvement for where it used to be. And he's actually had used this machine for years. And I sent him a video clip showing him how fast this damn thing boots down. He's like, whoa. You know? And that's just an SSD, really, is the only change. And then plus I put another 4 gig stick in there. It originally came with 4 gigs. I had another, so we got 8 gigs going on in here. So this is going to make a nice little terminal machine. But anyways, that's probably about it for this one. I don't think there's much else to cover that I can think of right offhand. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'm always available and usually not a dick to people, so, you know. But I will see you all in the next build. That one might be a while. Like I said, I've got like 5 more computers to do, you know, plus my regular job. Actually 6 more. I got another one coming up for the neighbor. Yeah, I'm going to be kind of busy with some upgrades for a while. And that's typically what I do, is upgrades. I don't do too many new builds too often. It's usually office-based shit. And I don't really post too many videos on the office stuff. But I figured, since, you know, I already covered the Inspiron 660, I might as well cover the 660S, since I got one in here to talk about. And there you have it. All right, guys, I will see you later, and I will see you in the next build. Bye.